Started. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to London and to Understanding Risk 2014. My job here is to get things started, welcome you to London, and set basic rules of the game. And then I'll give the floor to my two co-organizers who will also have a few words to welcome you all. This is going to be an amazing 3 days or 5 days for those who stay longer for the workshops after the forum itself. This is going to be fun, a lot of fun. And this is rule number 1. This is going to be fun is a statement as much as a command. So you're required to have fun. The second rule of the game, and there are really only two important rules in understanding risk, is that you are understanding risk. Understanding risk is really a meeting of experts, a meeting of different communities who are here all with the same goal, not to watch the World Cup, but still to mark goals towards better understanding, better communicating risk, all with the same goal of trying to reduce losses from adverse natural events around the world. So please have fun, please interact with each other. We have here people from the space agencies, from NGOs, from the finance industry, from Silicon Valley, from donor agencies, from aid agencies, from all around the world. We have more than 1,000 people registered for this event from more than 100 countries. So if you don't find here someone who actually can teach you something, someone who can inspire you in our mission to better understand and communicating risk, then I'm very sorry. And really interact. I think it's very important if you're in a space agencies, to get your feet on the ground and talk to a few of our NGO people and understand what's happening on the ground, and vice versa. If you work for an NGO on the ground, sometimes it's good to get a bit of the big picture and talk to people from space agencies. If you're from the finance industry, talk to people in Silicon Valley. They have a weird way of putting energy into things and getting things moving. And vice versa, if you're from Silicon Valley, you may want to know a little bit more about the real world and how things actually happen. So maybe this is a very good segue to pass the floor to Rowan Douglas, who has been an incredible supporter of understanding risk and really one of the key actor who has made this possible today. So I want to give him the honor of with me to open the floor, and then I'm going to pass to the Provost from UCL, Michael Arthur, who's also the second person who really has made this possible. You know that many of us are staying in the dorms at UCL. UCL has provided incredible content for this workshop and all for this forum, and all the technical workshops that take place during the last 2 days of this week will take place at UCL. So Rowan, the floor is yours.
Francis, thank you very, very much. And I have to say, it is a remarkable honor to be part of the welcoming group, particularly here in London, which is my hometown. I have to say, Francis, that my real aim after 3 understanding risks is to do enough to earn an understanding risk T-shirt. I've given hints. There's the orange one I missed. There's, I think, the blue one last year, and red is my wife's favorite color. So please, will you help me get 2 T-shirts? But it was in Washington exactly 4 years ago that this meeting, this community, first got together. It must have been a twinkle in Francis's eye, and at this time I think we should also mention Emma. Oh, there's a ship. That wasn't planned. You were really quick at the back there. We should also mention Emma Phillips and Alana Simpson, who between the 3 of them have really brought us all together. But it started 4 years ago, and most of us didn't quite know what we were going to Washington for. But because it was the World Bank, we thought we'd better turn up. And it's Washington. It sounds glamorous to our colleagues back home. So we all went to Washington. And we were quite, I mean, meager insurers like me felt quite glamorous meeting people from Google and going to hackathons. And my speech was tweeted, and that was pretty exciting 4 years ago. And I think we were all literally stunned by who came together, how this community was forming, and how we understood that actually we had the seeds of being able to actually understand and manage the extremes we were having to confront with disasters, find stability and find resilience. And at the end of the session, we all got together a bit like we are now, and we were pretty G'd up, and we decided that actually we were on to collectively the good ship UR. We were all on this ship. We'd all been a flotilla of different ships around the world, and somehow we'd been brought together, marshaled by some super admiral, and we were now literally setting sail. And that community really did keep together. There were some good officers and lots of great crew and some nice rich passengers, and it was marvelous. And we docked in Cape Town 2 years ago at the most inspiring session. I'm so pleased that the mayor is here in London to continue that journey with us. And we propelled further. And what better for us now to be here in London's Docklands. You've brought many people from West London who hardly ever come here. So congratulations on that. But here in Docklands, where the ship is now turning into a massive liner. And let me tell you now, the cabins on this ship are getting more and more valuable every day. So I have looked at this program intimately for months. It is the most rich and fecund, exciting, turbocharged puree of global brilliance. And that's because so many in this room have expended so much effort, so much passion in pulling it together, because we're all united on such an incredibly important, worthy, but all-consuming cause. And because we all know in that cause there's room for everybody. So my final observation is this. The most exciting and passionate thing about the UR community is that we are completely without prejudice. We make no distinctions between those who come from business or finance, or those who come from science and research, or those who come from the government or the public sector, or those who come from charities, or those of you who just come here. Because actually, we have learnt so well through your leadership, Francis, that actually those are just lazy stereotypes. And some of the best entrepreneurs are in the business and science sector. We have our fair share of not so entrepreneurial people in the business sector. And when you come here, everybody is the same, and we make no prejudices, and we just build and create resilience as a platform for sustainable growth. So, Francis, thank you so much for bringing us all together here in London. I can absolutely say that this is not just a conference. By the end of this week, we will have made massive announcements, massive progress on the journey to make sure that the disaster risk community becomes the pivot point for successful outcomes in major global processes in 2015 and beyond. This group is the group that will unite climate risk, capital, and public policy in a way that other processes are finding difficult. But when you read the papers and say, someone's got to do something about this big issue, you know who that is? That's us. As we said in Washington, there are others who need to be involved, but we are basically it. There is no other group somewhere else in the world. There is no other, this is it. You are it. We are it. So let's use this 3 days so excitingly, and don't be shy. Ask questions. Have fun. you will never, ever, ever get another opportunity that's been brought to you by Francis, Emma and Alana. So let's make the very best use of it. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Michael Arthur and I'm the President and Provost of University College London. So we're obviously participating in this conference, and it's a very, very great pleasure to welcome you to one of the world's great capital cities. It's a very exciting, vibrant and dynamic city, and it's changing all the time. And at the moment, I personally feel that the centre of gravity of the city is shifting towards the east. You're part of that today here at Excel in Docklands. But on my journey here this morning, I came through Canary Wharf. I had to change trains. I was nearly crushed in the stampede of the number of people going to work at Canary Wharf. And also, you'll see a lot of developments going on what was the Olympic Park. And that post-Olympic legacy is something that we're still building here in London, and I'm delighted to report that UCL is thinking of moving with some new space at the Olympic Park, so also contributing to that change of the centre of gravity of London. We would have loved to have hosted you on our campus, but unfortunately there are too many of you, which I guess is a great sign of success for this conference. We don't have a space that holds as many as this, and also being the vibrant university that we are, there's another conference going on which I also opened over the weekend. That's all to do with oxygen and tissue transport, so it could not be more different to your conference. But it's a great pleasure to have you here in London, and I understand that some of you are staying in student accommodation and migrating to Excel every day, so you definitely understand risk, that's for sure. Towards the end of the week, there are some parts of the conference and some workshops, I believe, that are going to be based at UCL. So when you do come onto the campus, it will be a great pleasure to welcome you there. I understand that those workshops are already sold out, which gives you a good feel for just how vibrant your organisation is. And it brings me to another point, which is UCL's deep academic interest in this area. And a point in common, I think, which is something that you won't find in all that many universities, and that is that within the culture of UCL, just about every academic I know likes to work across disciplines. Most universities are very siloed, and you'll have a faculty of engineering and a faculty of maths and so on. But UCL has, over the years, managed to get into its culture the concept of working across disciplines. And when I look at your conference, that is precisely why you're going to make progress. Because if you look at all of the big challenges that mankind is facing, almost all of them are related to human behaviours. And if you're going to ultimately change human behaviours, then you have to come at these problems from multiple angles. And I believe that cross-disciplinary approach is highly creative and helps to solve problems. We live by what we say at UCL, so we've created some special entities that are in this area. So first of all, I want to acknowledge the great work of Jason Blackstock, who is from the Department of Science, Technology, Engineering and Public Policy. And although I was credited with bringing you to London and doing all the hard work, of course, I just sit on top of this wonderful machine called UCL, and it's people like Jason and his team who've done all the work. And I just wanted to make that clear to all of you because you'll be coming across Jason over the course of the next few days. And then we have some other cross-disciplinary initiatives, literally working across engineering, across maths and physical sciences, and across engineering and environmental engineering, civil engineering. We have our own Institute for Risk and Disaster Reduction. So it's a great honour to host this conference here in London and to be a big part of it from UCL. I always think a conference is highly successful if it generates new activities, new research, new ideas, and in this context, the rest of the world is hoping that you help generate wonderful solutions. So please enjoy your conference, please enjoy London, please enjoy UCL when you come. Have a great time, and thank you.
So